Before we begin, I want you to stop whatever you're doing right now. Put down your phone for a moment, or if you're watching this on a screen, I want you to take one deep breath. Breathe in slowly and breathe out, because what you're about to hear is not just another motivational video. This is a message, and it was meant to find you today, at this exact moment in your life. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. There are no coincidences in this universe. The fact that this video appeared in your feed, the fact that you clicked on it, the fact that you're still here, reading or listening to these words, all of it is part of something much larger than either of us can fully comprehend. The universe has been trying to reach you, through signs, through people, through dreams, through that quiet whisper in your chest that tells you there's something more, something bigger, something you were born to do. And today, I'm going to speak directly to your soul. I'm going to tell you what the universe has been trying to communicate to you through every closed door, every failed attempt, every lonely night, and every moment of doubt. So settle in, open your heart, and know this: you are exactly where you need to be. There is a concept that has existed across every culture, every civilization, every spiritual tradition that humanity has ever known. It goes by different names: the chosen one, the light worker, the old soul, the awakened one, the indigo child, the seeker. But regardless of the name, the description is always the same. There is always a person who feels fundamentally different from the people around them. A person who has always sensed, even from a very young age, that their life carries a particular weight, a particular purpose that can't quite be explained in ordinary language. Maybe that person is you. Maybe you've spent years feeling like you don't quite fit in, like you were born into the wrong environment, the wrong family, the wrong time. Maybe you've always felt a deep, burning hunger inside of you, not for food or comfort, but for meaning, for truth, for something real in a world that often feels hollow and artificial. Maybe you look around at the people in your life who seem completely content with ordinary existence, the 9-to-5 routine, the weekend distractions, the comfortable numbness, and you feel a kind of loving confusion because you simply cannot settle for that. You've tried, you know you've tried, but something in you refuses. And here is what I need you to understand: that refusal is not a flaw, it is a feature. It is the signature of your calling. Let me take you back to the beginning, not your beginning, the beginning of everything. Ancient wisdom traditions from every corner of the world teach that before you were born into this physical body, before you drew your first breath on this earth, your soul existed in a different state of being. Some traditions call it the spirit world. Others call it the quantum field, the higher dimensions, the great beyond. The name doesn't matter. What matters is the teaching that is consistent across all of them. Before you came here, you chose. You made a decision, a contract, if you will, about the kind of life you would live, the challenges you would face, the lessons you would learn, and most importantly, the gifts you would bring. You were not dropped randomly into this existence. You arrived with intention. And the reason so many of you feel that deep, unshakable sense that you are meant for more, the reason that feeling has never left you, no matter how many times life has knocked you down, is because it is not just a feeling. It is a memory, a soul memory of the agreement you made before you arrived. Your higher self, the eternal part of you that exists beyond time and space, has never forgotten why you came. And every time you feel that pull, that mysterious, magnetic longing toward your purpose, that is your higher self trying to remind you, trying to reach you, calling you home to yourself. Now I want to talk about something that most people will never understand about being chosen. And that is this: being chosen does not mean your life is easier. It means your life is more intentional. The universe does not give the hardest battles to its weakest soldiers. It gives the most complex, multi-layered, soul-shaping journeys to the ones who have the spiritual strength to navigate them, and in doing so, to illuminate the path for others. Look at your life right now. Look at everything you've been through, the losses that broke you open, the betrayals that forced you to find your own truth, the failures that stripped away everything that wasn't real, the loneliness that drove you inward, where you discovered depths within yourself you never knew existed. I need you to see this clearly. None of that happened to you. It happened for you. Every single wound was a doorway. Every single breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise. Every single moment that felt like the universe was against you was actually the universe preparing you, shaping you, refining you like gold in fire, because gold only reveals its true brilliance when it has passed through the flame. You have been in the fire, and look at you, you're still here. That alone tells you something profound about who you are. There is a phenomenon that spiritual teachers and psychologists alike have observed across thousands of individuals who go on to live extraordinary, purpose-driven lives. It is called the dark night of the soul. And if you have experienced it, or if you are in the middle of it right now, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment. It is not a sign that you are broken, that God has forgotten you, or that your life has gone irreparably wrong. The dark night of the soul is a rite of passage. It is the universe's way of dismantling the old version of you, the version that was built on fear, on conditioning, on other people's expectation, so that the true you can emerge. Think of it like a caterpillar in a cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks like the caterpillar is stuck, trapped, even dying. But inside that darkness, something miraculous is occurring. Every cell is being reorganized. Every part of the caterpillar's previous identity is dissolving so that something new, something with wings, can be born. If you are in your cocoon right now, please hear me. You are not dying, you are transforming. And the darkness you are sitting in is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your flight. The universe has not abandoned you. The universe is rebuilding you. And what is being built is more magnificent than anything the old version of you could have imagined. I want to speak now to the ones who feel lonely in their awakening. The ones who have started to see the world differently, who have begun to question the systems, the narratives, the invisible rules that society operates by, and who feel profoundly isolated because the people around them simply cannot see what they see. Maybe you've tried to share your insights and been met with blank stares or dismissal. Maybe you've tried to talk about energy, about consciousness, about the deeper mechanics of reality, and the people you love most looked at you like you were speaking a different language, because you are. You have begun speaking the language of the awakened, and not everyone around you has learned that language yet. And this loneliness, this beautiful, painful loneliness of the pioneer, is one of the most sacred experiences a human being can have. It means you are at the leading edge. It means you are seeing the territory before the map has been drawn. Every great teacher, every transformative leader, every visionary who ever changed the world knew this loneliness intimately. Buddha sat alone under the Bodhi tree. Jesus wandered alone in the desert. Rumi lost his beloved Shams and poured his grief into poetry that would touch billions of souls centuries later. Your loneliness is not evidence of your irrelevance, it is evidence of your depth. And the universe is already drawing toward you the souls who will recognize you, who will see you fully, completely, without you having to shrink or explain yourself. Let's talk about signs, because the universe has been sending them to you, and I want to make sure you know how to read them. Have you been seeing repeating numbers? 1111, 2222, 333, 444. Have you been having vivid dreams that feel less like dreams and more like messages? Have you been experiencing sudden, inexplicable synchronicities? Thinking about someone and then they call, reading about a concept and then hearing it mentioned 3 times in one day? Stumbling upon a book or a video or a conversation at precisely the moment you needed it most? These are not coincidences. In a universe governed by consciousness, and science is increasingly pointing in this direction, there are no true coincidences. What we experience as coincidence is actually a kind of cosmic alignment, a moment when the frequency of your inner world and the frequency of the outer world perfectly match. When you see these signs, the universe is not just saying hello, it is saying keep going, it is saying you are on the right path, it is saying we see you, we hear you, and we are with you. The signs are the universe's love language to the awakened soul. And the fact that you notice them, the fact that they mean something to you when they slide past most people without a second glance, is itself one of the most significant signs of all. You are tuned to a frequency that most people can't hear yet. And that frequency is the frequency of truth. Now I want to address something that lives at the very core of why so many chosen ones struggle, and it comes down to one word: worthiness. Deep in the hearts of so many awakened, gifted, purpose-driven individuals, beneath all the seeking and the striving and the searching, there is a wound that whispers, "Who am I to be great? Who am I to be chosen? Who am I to lead, to teach, to transform, to matter?" And this wound is almost always rooted in a story that was given to you by someone else. A parent who told you, explicitly or implicitly, that you were too much or not enough. A society that taught you to stay small, to fit in, to not stand out. A series of failures or rejections that you internalized as evidence of your inherent unworthiness. But here is the truth that the universe needs you to receive right now, today, in this moment. Your worthiness is not something you earn. It is not something that can be given to you by another human being. It is not contingent on your achievements, your appearance, your status, or your success. Your worthiness is intrinsic. It is built into the very fabric of your existence. You are worthy because you are. Because you were created by the same infinite intelligence that created the stars and the oceans and the forests and every beautiful, improbable, breathtaking thing in this universe. You were not made by mistake. You were made on purpose. And it is time, past time, for you to start living as if you believe that. There is something I've noticed about the chosen ones. Something that sets them apart, not just spiritually but practically. They feel things more deeply than the people around them. They are moved by beauty in ways that seem excessive to others. They feel the pain of strangers as if it were their own. They carry the weight of the world in their chest, and sometimes they don't even know why they're sad. They're just sad, because somewhere in the world something is suffering, and their soul feels it. This is called being an empath, and if this describes you, I want you to know that your sensitivity is not your weakness. Your sensitivity is your superpower. In a world that has become increasingly numb, that has learned to scroll past tragedy, to build walls against vulnerability, to mistake hardness for strength, a person who can still feel deeply is not broken. They are essential. The world does not need more people who are good at not caring. The world needs more people who are so full of love and compassion that they cannot look away from suffering, who are so committed to truth that they cannot settle for comfortable lies, who are so deeply connected to their purpose that they would rather be authentically themselves in isolation than inauthentically popular in a crowd. That person is you, and the universe placed you here, in this time, in this body, in this life, because the world needs exactly what you carry. Let me tell you about the concept of vibrational frequency. Everything in this universe, every atom, every thought, every emotion, every human being vibrates at a specific frequency. This is not mysticism, this is physics. And one of the most profound laws of this vibrational universe is the law of resonance. Like attracts like. When you operate from a high vibrational state, from love, from gratitude, from joy, from purpose, you draw high vibrational experiences, people, and opportunities into your life. And when you operate from a low vibrational state, from fear, from resentment, from lack, from despair, you draw more of the same. This is why your mindset is not just a self-help concept, it is a cosmic mechanism. It is the mechanism by which you literally co-create your reality with the universe. Now, here is what I want you to understand. The chosen ones are called to be frequency holders, not just for themselves, for the collective. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you choose truth over comfort, every time you choose to show up with integrity even when it costs you something, you are raising the vibrational frequency of the entire field around you. You are literally changing the energy of the spaces you inhabit, the relationships you're in, the communities you're part of. This is the invisible work of the chosen one. And it is some of the most important work being done on this planet right now. I want to take a moment to speak to those of you who are going through a season of radical change. Maybe your life is being dismantled right now. Maybe relationships you thought were permanent are ending. Maybe a career you built for years is crumbling. Maybe you're moving to a new city, starting over, leaving behind everything familiar and comfortable. And maybe, somewhere in the middle of all of that upheaval, you feel a quiet but persistent sense that this is right, that even though it's painful, it's necessary, that something better, something more aligned, is on the other side of this dissolution. Trust that feeling, it is your soul speaking. The universe doesn't dismantle your life to punish you. It dismantles your life to make room. Room for the relationships that are truly aligned with who you're becoming. Room for the work that genuinely reflects your gifts. Room for the version of yourself that has been waiting patiently and faithfully for you to release the old so the new can arrive. When a tree sheds its leaves in autumn, it doesn't mourn. It trusts. It trusts that the stripping away is part of the cycle. That what looks like loss is actually preparation. That winter is not death, it is rest before renewal. You are in your winter. And spring is coming, not because I say so, but because that is the nature of the universe. Cycles, always cycles. And you will bloom again, more beautifully, more fully, more authentically than ever before. There is a question I want to pose to you now, and I want you to sit with it honestly. Are you playing small? Are you hiding your gifts because you're afraid of being seen? Are you dimming your light because you're afraid it might be too bright for the people around you? Are you silencing your voice because somewhere along the way you learned that speaking your truth was dangerous? Because this is one of the most common patterns I see in awakened souls. This pulling back, this self-censorship, this careful management of how much of themselves they allow the world to see. And I understand why it happens. When you've been misunderstood, when you've been criticized for being different, when you've reached out in vulnerability and been met with dismissal or ridicule, you learn to protect yourself. You learn to keep the most precious, authentic parts of yourself locked away where they can't be hurt. But here is the cost of that protection. The world doesn't get to receive what you carry. The people who are waiting for exactly your voice, your perspective, your art, your wisdom, your particular way of seeing and experiencing reality, they don't get to find you. And you don't get to live in the full freedom and joy of being completely unapologetically yourself. Marianne Williamson wrote that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And she was right. It is your power that frightens you. It is the immensity of your potential that makes you want to shrink. But shrinking was never the assignment. Shining was. Let's talk about your purpose, because I know this is something that weighs on so many of you. The question that keeps you awake at night. What am I here to do? What is my purpose? How do I find it? And I want to offer you a perspective shift that might change everything. Most people approach purpose as if it is a destination, a specific career, a particular achievement, a fixed role that they need to identify and then march toward. But purpose is not a destination. Purpose is a direction. It is a way of moving through the world. It is the natural expression of your deepest values, your most authentic gifts, and your greatest love. You don't find your purpose by thinking about it. You find it by following what lights you up. By paying attention to the moments when time disappears because you're so absorbed in what you're doing. By noticing what breaks your heart about the world and then asking yourself, what unique gift do I have that could be part of the solution to this? By observing what comes so naturally to you that you assume everyone can do it, because they can't. Those effortless gifts, the things you do without thinking, the insights that come to you easily, the ways of connecting with people or ideas or problems that feel intuitive to you, those are not accidents. Those are the fingerprints of your purpose, and the universe placed them inside you specifically because the world needs them. Your purpose is not separate from you. It lives inside you. It always has. You just need to stop looking for it out there and start listening for it in here. I want to speak now about the relationship between faith and action, because this is where so many chosen ones get stuck. They have the vision. They can feel in their bones what they're meant to do, who they're meant to become. But between the vision and the reality, there is a gap. And in that gap lives fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of being wrong, fear of success and everything that comes with it. And so they wait. They wait for certainty before they take the leap. They wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect moment, the perfect plan. They wait until they feel ready. But here is the truth that every great spiritual tradition, every wisdom teaching, every story of extraordinary human achievement confirms readiness is not a prerequisite for action. Readiness is the result of action. You will never feel fully prepared. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on the principle of faith expressed through movement. Not blind, reckless movement, but the faithful, courageous, one step at a time movement of a person who trusts that the path will reveal itself as they walk. As the ancient proverb says, the way to walk on water is to get out of the boat. You cannot discover what you're capable of from the safety of your comfort zone. The miracle happens in the movement. The door opens when you walk toward it. The universe meets you where you're going, not where you're staying. So take the step, write the first word. Make the call, book the flight, have the conversation. Take the imperfect, terrifying, glorious first step and watch what the universe does next. Now I want to tell you something about the people in your life, particularly the ones who don't understand your path. The ones who question your choices, who think you've changed, you have, who are uncomfortable with the person you're becoming. These people are not your enemies, they are mirrors. They are showing you exactly what you've been afraid of, which is the possibility that you might be wrong, that you might fail publicly, that you might embarrass yourself or them by daring to dream beyond what's familiar and safe. When someone close to you tries to talk you out of your dreams, it is almost never because they want you to fail. It is almost always because they are afraid for you, or afraid of what your success might reveal about the choices they've made in their own lives. People who are living their fullest expression don't feel threatened by yours. It is the ones who have buried their own dreams who feel most uncomfortable in the presence of someone who is choosing to live theirs. So practice compassion for them, pray for them, love them, and then gently but firmly continue anyway. Your calling is not up for a vote. Your purpose was given to you before they were even in your life. And you owe it to every future version of yourself and to everyone who will one day be touched by what you create, to keep going even when the people closest to you don't understand. One of the most powerful things I've learned about the journey of the chosen one is this: your greatest wound is the doorway to your greatest gift. Whatever you have suffered most, whatever pain has shaped you most profoundly, is almost always directly connected to the contribution you are meant to make in this world. The person who grew up in poverty and learned the language of scarcity is the one who understands financial suffering deeply enough to genuinely help others move through it. The person who survived abuse or trauma and found their way to healing is the one who can hold space for others in the darkness because they know that darkness intimately. The person who felt invisible and unworthy for years is the one who, once they find their own light, becomes the most powerful mirror for others trying to find theirs. This is the alchemy of the chosen life. The universe doesn't waste experiences. Every single thing you've been through, every loss, every struggle, every moment of darkness is being composted into something generative, something beautiful, something that will feed not just your own life but the lives of others. Your story is not a liability. Your story is your greatest asset, the authenticity of your lived experience, the depth of your understanding, the hard-won wisdom that can only be earned through surviving. These are priceless, and the world is waiting for you to share them. Let me speak now about the nature of time, because many of you are feeling the pressure of it. You're comparing yourself to others, wondering why they seem to have figured it out faster, why their life looks more aligned, more abundant, more purposeful than yours. You're feeling behind. And this feeling of being behind is one of the most crippling stories a chosen one can tell themselves. Because it is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how the universe works. The universe does not operate on a linear timeline. It operates on a divine timeline, one that is uniquely calibrated to your soul's particular journey and the specific lessons you came here to learn. Some seeds take longer to germinate. Some vines take decades to fully bloom, but when they do, they produce abundantly for generations. A bamboo plant spends years building its root system underground, invisible, apparently dormant, and then in 6 weeks it grows 90 feet. You cannot see what is being built in your root system, but it is being built. Every book you've read, every hardship you've endured, every quiet moment of reflection and prayer and seeking, it is all going into the root system. And when the season changes, and it will change, your growth will astonish even you. So stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop looking sideways at other people's timelines. Your path is not their path, your season is not their season, and your harvest, when it comes, will be exactly right for you and for no one else. Trust the divine timeline, and in the meantime, keep planting. I want to talk about love, not romantic love specifically, but the deeper, wider, more expansive kind of love that lies at the foundation of every spiritual tradition that has ever pointed humanity toward truth. The love that the mystics called agape, that the Buddhists called metta, that the Sufis expressed in poetry so beautiful it made the stars weep. The love that is not a feeling but a state of being, a way of moving through the world with an open heart. The chosen one, truly chosen, truly awakened, ultimately discovers that love is not just a nice value to cultivate, it is the actual mechanism of reality. It is the force that holds the universe together. It is the frequency that dissolves all separation and reveals the truth that has been there all along. We are not separate beings in a competitive world. We are expressions of one consciousness, experiencing itself through an infinite variety of forms. When you truly grasp this, not intellectually, but in your bones, in your blood, in the center of your chest, it changes everything. It changes how you treat other people. It changes how you respond to suffering. It changes how you make decisions. It changes what success means to you. Because once you know that we are all one, success can no longer be something you hoard. It becomes something you naturally want to share. And the more you give, the more you pour your gifts into the world with love rather than fear, the more abundantly the universe returns to you. This is not a metaphor. This is a law. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it is your inheritance as a human soul. As we begin to move toward the close of this message, I want to paint a picture for you. I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now. Not the you who stayed safe, who played small, who kept waiting for permission. The you who listened. The you who took the step. The you who decided, in this very moment, today, that the life you were born to live was worth the risk of everything it would cost you to claim it. Imagine that person. They wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose so clear and so strong it feels like oxygen. They move through their days with an energy that is magnetic, because they are no longer leaking their power into roles that don't fit them, relationships that don't feed them, stories that don't serve them. They have done the inner work, the difficult, uncomfortable, transformative work of becoming, and the outer world has rearranged itself to reflect their inner alignment. They are doing work that matters. They are surrounded by people who truly see them. They are contributing something real and beautiful to the world. And they wake up every day profoundly grateful. Not because their life is perfect, but because it is theirs. Completely, authentically, unapologetically theirs. That person is available to you. That life is available to you. Not in some far future, not in some parallel universe where you were born with different circumstances. In this life, in this body, in this timeline. But only if you choose it. And the choosing happens now. The universe has been patient with you. It has sent the signs. It has whispered through the synchronicities. It has spoken to you in dreams and in sudden moments of inexplicable clarity. It has placed the right teachers in your path at the right moments. It has used your pain to carve you open so the light could get in. It has orchestrated encounters and opportunities that seemed coincidental but were anything but. And through all of it, through every iteration of the call, the message has been the same. You are chosen, not because you are perfect, not because you have all the answers, not because you are further along than everyone else. You are chosen because of your particular combination of gifts and wounds, your specific frequency, your unique perspective, your unrepeatable way of being in the world. There is no one else, not in all of history, not in all of the potential future, who can do exactly what you are here to do in exactly the way you can do it. That is not pride. That is cosmology. That is the beautiful, staggering truth of what it means to be a singular soul in an infinite universe. And the universe, in all its vastness and intelligence and love, has been reaching toward you through every person who ever inspired you, through every book that ever cracked you open, through every song that ever made you feel less alone, reaching toward you and saying, "It's time. You are ready. The world needs what you carry, and it is time to rise." So here is your call to action, not the call to action of a YouTube algorithm, the call to action of your own soul, amplified through this moment. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to do one thing, just one. Take out a piece of paper or open a new note on your phone and write down the answer to this question. If I knew with absolute certainty that I could not fail, and I knew with absolute certainty that I was fully supported by the universe, what would I do? What would I create? Who would I become? Write it down. Let it be big. Let it be bold. Let it be the thing you've been too afraid to even admit to yourself, let alone say out loud. And then, this is the important part, find one small, concrete, achievable action you can take tomorrow that moves in the direction of that vision. Not a perfect action, not a complete action, just one step, because that's how the path is walked. One step at a time, in faith, in love, with the unshakable knowing that you are not walking alone. The universe walks with you, your higher self walks with you. Every teacher, every ancestor, every being of light that has ever loved you walks with you. And I, in whatever humble way a voice through a screen can be present, am walking with you too. You are the chosen one, you have always been, and the world, your world, and the wider world is ready to receive what you came here to give. So go, begin, rise, and know in the deepest chamber of your heart that you are exactly enough, exactly as you are, for everything you are about to become. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave enough to seek. Thank you for being open enough to receive. If this message reached you today, it was not by accident. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And in the comments, tell me, what is the one step you're going to take tomorrow? Because the world needs your answer, and the universe is listening.